How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of mystery beer time, courtesy of my boy Jerome, in the form of, I have no idea what this is. Yeah, I was hurting for some mystery beers. Up jumps Jerome to the rescue and fires me off what looks like the thickest, darkest, 5C thickest beer I've seen in a very long time. Look at that. Good God. You could run your car and it almost looks like it's nitrogenized too, the way that head's kind of coming off. Good God. So here's the deal. When I do mystery beers, I do them first. I usually do a couple beer reviews afterwards. If it's going to be a monster beer, which I assume this one is, I'm going to have to take a little break so my palate's just not totally destroyed. So yeah, classic mystery beer style wrapping. This is just probably one of, if not one of, the darkest beers in the history of mankind. I mean, I don't even want to call that less what I would like my coffee to look like color head, because that's way beyond that. That's getting close to just a drip of cream and an espresso kind of thing. Dark as dark could be. Super tight, compact bubble head. Almost had like that nitro kind of vibe to it, the way it was cascading once it was poured. I'm going to take a shot in the dark. I think this might be a stout. Let's get a nose. It smells like a really rich chocolate robust stout. But there's something in there that I'm just not pegging. What is that? I mean, you're getting all the things you would expect from a big, huge, thick stout. You're getting chocolate on chocolate on chocolate, different layers of chocolate from bakers to semi-sweet, the milk, the whole nine. There's this nice roast the malt, but it's not overtly bittering, making me think we might be leaning into a milk stout. Especially how dark this thing looks. There's like a nut character. It's not Nutella. It's not hazelnut, but there's some kind of nut thing going on in there too. That could be a grain bill thing, but... And there's some kind of like maybe jammy component in there. I could see it coming through and it tastes like a raspberry or something like that. I mean, this smells huge, delicious. Doesn't smell like it's barrel aged though. Let's put it that way. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh. Okay. What is this? I feel like I've had this beer before. It's hot. It's not hot. No, it's hot. It just doesn't burn the way down, but there's definitely a big alcohol content here. Literally making me kind of get warm, a little toasty here, kind of peaking a little bit of heartburn. And since I switched to a new kind of heartburn medication, I haven't had heartburn in like months. The only time I actually get a tinge of heartburn ever nowadays is if I eat these. My wife makes me these black bean brownies every now and then. Those give it to me. Okay? We're trying to peg down what's giving me that heartburn thing. And we're pretty sure it comes down to coconut. So I'm getting a kind of a vanilla coconut thing on here with that little tinge of heartburn. I'm going to lay it out in the line and say this is a coconut. Man, that's big. It's got to be barrel aged, right? I mean, there's a barrel char to it. And there's a big alcohol content. But I'm not getting like a big like spirit booziness from it. More just like a high ABV stout. There is this kind of charry character to it, but with how dark it is and how thick it is, that just could be a malt thing. I don't know, man. I mean, that's really tasty. That's really tasty. Really big, really robust. Gigantic beer. I don't even know what to say. So, it's chocolate on chocolate on chocolate, like I said, with the nose, follows through in the taste. You get this nice roast component. It could be a coffee thing, but I'm just going to lean... just a big roasted beer. So I'm not going to go to the coffee end of things. I just think that's the malt kind of presenting itself as a big roasted coffee component. There is this kind of nutty characteristic to it. So maybe like an almond coconut kind of thing going on there. So let's go almond for the sake of saying something. So this is a 14% almond coconut Russian Imperial Stout. Done. Because I do get a vanilla coconut kind of vibe. That heartburn leads me to believe that it might be a coconut kind of leaning into there. There is another characteristic. I'm just throwing almonds for the sake of being fun skis. I don't... Man, it's got to be barrel aged though. In a bourbon barrel. Let's just go there. So, a bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout with vanilla not vanilla, coconut in almonds. That sounds like a thing to me, right? That sounds like a beer. And what did I say? 14%? Done. I just need to know what this is. I could be totally wrong on this beer, but this is just a gigantic, huge beer here. Oh, it's a Nightmare Brewing beer. Okay. Its ABV is 16.2. I shortchanged it. This is their Pariah. This is an Imperial Coffee Stout. Okay. See? I didn't want to go coffee there. With Chilean blueberries and hand-roasted coffee from Flux Coffee. So, yeah. I went coconut and almonds, and this is blueberries and coffee. That's close, right? No, 16.2%, so I was 2.5% or 2.2% off. This is probably the best by far, not even close. By far and away, the best Nightmare beer that I have had from these guys. These guys are very much a residual sugar bomb kind of brewery, which works really, really well in these high ABV stouts. Even kind of, I wouldn't say it works well, but shooting for such a high ABV, it's gonna be sweet to begin with, but you can't really fault it with a sweetness to it because of how high ABV of a beer it is. The coffee thing I thought was coming from a straight malt, so I'm not gonna sit here and say this is the most coffee forward beer of all time, but it's definitely coffee forward. But I thought it was coming from the malt. And the blueberry thing, I said that kind of fruited component, that jammy component in the nose, didn't really follow through too much on a taste. And the bourbon barrel aging, honestly, that was just me just throwing it out there because how high of alcohol this came off, I assumed there was a barrel involved, but it ended up just being 16% and change as opposed to a 14% barrel aged beer. I'm okay with what I said because I'm me, and I'm okay with me being me. No, because in the grand scheme of things, I think this is just what I should have said was, this is a gigantic, rip-roaring, fucking ape-shit crazy Imperial Stout. Done. That's really all it is. The other components in it, especially at its ABV, you're talking about blueberries. How many blueberries you got to put in a 16% Imperial Stout with a ton of coffee in it? Or roasted malts and stuff like that going on to really impart itself. Again, I got that kind of jammy note in the nose, but I get that a lot from beers that don't have any fruit in it, especially darker beers, kind of Imperial Stouts at this ABV level. So I think this is, like I said, by far and away probably the best Nightmare Brewing beer that I've had out of the bunch, considering the sweetness isn't an issue here. And yeah, it's fun, it's tasty. Really cool mystery beer. Thank you very much, Jerome. This comes courtesy of Jerome, if I didn't say it earlier. Yeah, super fun. Art, it's Nightmare Brewing. It's kind of like they're doing a rock metal kind of theme thing, and they do it quite well. There you go. Let's talk about it. It's one of the better non-barrel aged adjunct stouts that I've had as of late. It's definitely up there. It's really tasty. I mean, I can't fault this. It's a big, huge behemoth of a beer before I unwrapped it, and guess what? It's still a big, huge behemoth of a beer. It's doing what it's supposed to do, which is hair on fire, speed metal, roller coaster, craziness. You know what I'm talking about. Value and availability, no idea. I know Nightmare stuff is quite pricey. I could see this being well in the $20, if not $30, for a 4-pack. Jerome, let us know. You can find it. I've heard people get Nightmare stuff in Florida and leave it with, if you like what we like this, if you like big, huge, gigantic, no apologies, gargantuan stouts, then you'll like this. Because that's what this is. It's just a big, huge MFer of a stout, and it does what it does. It does it well. It's not pulling punches, and that shit'll knock you out. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little stout right now, and hopefully see you next time. Cheers.